don't know if we're celebrating 10 years, but we've been doing this for 10 damn years.
Or at least
an hour.
10-year-old's doing it.
It's the in-wheel time car show. Just ahead, we're supposed to have somebody from the Ford Motor Company to talk with about the all-new Maverick pickup truck. We'll see if that happens. We need more Jeff. We'll tout his pre-owned car of the week, the Jaguar E-Pace.
E-Pace.
And we'll look at the racing calendar.
Yes.
Conrad's Car Clinic. And stories making automotive news headlines this week. We think we might have that, but we're not quite sure. It's all just ahead on today's In-Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Mars, Conrad DeLong, and Jeff Dziekan.
No, I didn't do it.
We don't get
any titles.
Adjective name. Yeah.
I didn't do it.
I'm not telling you who I am. Just pretend that you've never heard of me or know me at all.
Well, George Skelton has a name for you.
I'll bet a lot of people have a name for me.
HMBWT. Hold my beer, watch this.
You worked on that one, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah,
So
I had to work on it for a while.
So you can get all the letters correct.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit here and wait for Mr. Trevor Scott with the Maverick and Ranger Marketing Group, and we'll see what happens.
No, there's some other things we can do in the meantime.
Sure.
Yeah? What might that be?
Did you hear that
You got to lie to me.
Dodge is quietly crafting the Hornet, return of the name Hornet, as a mini muscle
Wait a minute.
car.
The Hornet, used to be with
an
AMC.
Right. So Dodge is talking about bringing back
green?
the name Hornet and sharing that platform with the upcoming Alfa Romeo. I am going to butcher this, but I'm going to say it. Toenail.
Toenail. It's the toenail.
I think it's...
It's the toenail. We're just going to call it the toenail. If they are going to spell it Tonale, it's a toenail.
You should know that. You have yours done once a week.
No, I haven't. I have mine done. I get my pedicure. I had my pedicure Wednesday.
Do they use a Poulin or a steel?
No, she actually uses a Dremel tool.
Wait a minute. So wasn't that? I believe that was something that
I think
was
steels are better than Poulin.
That was in Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it? Where they
got the Dremel tool out.
That was more than a Dremel tool.
They got the big grinder, big two-handed grinder.
No, she just uses a little Dremel tool, and the smell is horrendous.
I can.
Burning toenail is like as bad as burning hair.
God. People are getting up and trying to have breakfast and coffee and things like that.
But I thought it was interesting.
So where do you go? Because we don't want to go there. Exclusive
Nails by Cindy. Up at the salons
Not
in
anymore.
the Vintage off of 249 and Louetta. She does a wonderful job, has been doing my pedicures for years.
She sees you walking in the door and she runs to the back going, God, I don't want to see those things.
Every week there's somebody's name that's different.
She's always got beer or wine when you show up. I don't know if it's for her or for me.
I was just going to say, because she's probably swigging down the wine before she gets involved with those daggers that you've got down there.
Do you think she'd want to sponsor the show? Maybe
I
a segment?
will talk to her. Well, I'll trade her for
a Conrad
she
segment.
Come here and do all of our nails while we're doing the show.
One of your segments.
One of my segments.
Don't touch my feet.
This week in
history. This feet in history. We've lost control.
What's your number? I'll call her.
But it's the first time Dodge will bring a hat trick. We get back to this original story since 2006 when they had, what was it, the Caliber or whatever it was. It's been that long since they've had one.
Yeah.
And the reason they're pretty sure that Hornet's going to be the name is because Dodge registered the trademark name Hornet last year. So that's why they're thinking they're going to bring that back.
And they're going to upgrade it to a murder hornet?
When he walks in the door
with pink toenails.
Oh, boy.
I dare you to wear a green shirt next time.
Let me ask you something. Do you have them painted? Do you put color on them?
No, I don't even put clear on them.
Why don't you have them put color on it? No. Tell you what, I know that Angela, his wife, is not watching or listening.
Thank goodness.
Because she never does.
She's working.
Well, whatever.
Rochelle listens from time to time.
All right. Well, she's not listening to. So when you go this week, because I know that you're going to go to California for a vacation, he will not be here next week. Thank God. And so what I'd like for you to do.
I didn't mess up the last interview. You did.
Moving on.
Because of Mars.
Because of Mars. So I want you to go ahead at least have one toenail painted in the color of your choice, but make it noticeable.
I've got one better. Randy at Paint House, come up with a color. Come up with a color for Conrad's toenails.
Okay, Randy, I will be there Tuesday, and you can spray my toes. In Randy Apple 3.
Wait, Randy won't be there Tuesday for sure now.
He's always late for work on Tuesdays.
Yeah. He
was watching. He did stay on to watch. So I'm sure he's sitting there going, no, I'm not going to be here
And
Tuesday.
I'll never be on that show again.
Did you also hear that General Motors is in a class action lawsuit over oil consumption on the 2.4 liter four-cylinder? They're having quite an oil consumption issue with it, and now there's a class action lawsuit. GM's figuring that the class action lawsuit will be dismissed because in the owner's manual, it tells the owner of the vehicle to check their oil level every time you fill up with gas. Who does that?
Well, apparently BMW owners do that.
No, BMW owners don't.
It's a sealed system. BMW does.
It's a sealed system, but also on the BMW.
But I thought that they had a bad oil consumption
They
issue.
do, but they have an oil light, a level light that comes on. It's a little optical sensor in the oil pan that, as the oil gets below it, the light comes on. The Audi does, the Mercedes does as well, because they all burn oil. But in GM, they don't have any kind of.
So let me ask you this: when a modern today's style engine burns oil, doesn't that mess up the catalytic converter?
Yes. GM in their service manual says a quart of oil in 2,000 miles is an acceptable amount of oil consumption.
That is absolutely stupid.
Well, BMW says a quart of oil in 750 miles is an acceptable level of oil consumption on their M Series.
How is that? Explain that to me. In today's engines that are built basically by a robot and a computer.
So the PCV system, there's which is the positive crankcase ventilation system. So it actually puts engine vacuum on the crankcase,
correct,
down where the crankshaft and pistons and rods are all spinning in the oil. Mm-hmm. So on the GDI and the gasoline-directed injected engines, all the manufacturers squirt oil at the bottom of the piston because the piston gets so hot. One of the problems with GDI engines is something called carbon packing, because they build up so much carbon on the induction system. Those carbon particles build up in the combustion chamber as well, and they pack into the ringland area, and the rings get stuck on the piston. That creates blow-by. So now we've added pressure to the crankcase. We're spraying. It's like a little Rainbird sprinkler up there shooting oil at the bottom of the piston.
But don't we
spinning at 3,000 RPM?
Don't we know this by now and have something to take care of it?
Have for years. Yes.
So that
yes and no.
So that the rings don't get stuck on the piston.
Yes and no. So they put a scraper ring on, and all that does is scrape the hard carbon off. They haven't done much to control the carbon
root cause.
The oil coking that happens in the ringland area. GDI engines run hotter, so when you turn the engine off, the temperature goes up. As they're spraying oil on the bottom of the piston, they pack a lot of oil in the ringland area.
Yep.
The temperature goes up. There's no more motion. There's no more cooling going on. So as the temperature goes up, that oil solidifies and cooks, kind of like kind of like a Corningware dish does on the edge.
Does it make any difference whether you use regular motor oil or you use synthetic?
No, it happens.
It's still going to cook.
So the oil consumption comes from the blow-by creating more pressure in the crankcase, this sprayer under there creating this oil fog in the crankcase, and it all gets drawn through the PCV system and burned through the combustion process, which is where you see lower mileage catalytic converter failures.
Plugs, all that.
Oh, yeah.
But you said it's going to be dismissed, so it's kind of a moot point for them to.
But the reason they're going to dismiss it is because General Motors warranty covers defects in manufacturing, not in design. I've already seen they've published GM's initial defense to this. This is a design issue, not a manufacturing issue, which just blows my mind that they would put something like that in.
But
writing.
this is only on the 2.4 liter four-cylinder engine, and not the LS engine.
That's the lawsuit is on the 2.4.
Right.
LS burns oil like a locomotive.
Mine doesn't.
Yeah, but you don't put that many miles on yours.
No, but
you know, if typically the LS motor that burns is one that's wound up a little bit more as they go with these extended oil changes. The oil is not fresh and clean in there as often. LS is not a GDI engine, but they are an oil burner, have been since they first came out in '99. You know, that was something I was dealing with.
Well, some oil consumption is acceptable, and not only that, but you kind of want that because that means that the inside of the engine is getting lubricated. Kind of.
Yeah.
But then today's tolerances, I mean, they're so thin. I mean, the tolerances are so tight.
And you're correct about they're so thin. You know, think about one of the things, and you've talked about it, it's on the Monroney labels, a lot of these cars, low-tension piston rings.
Yep.
So the low-tension piston rings means the piston ring has less force pushing itself outward to the cylinder wall, which means they're more prone to get stuck from oil coking in the ringland area. It is a problem everybody has. GM's in a lawsuit over it. Subaru's been in a lawsuit over it. Volkswagen has already settled their lawsuit over it. So a lot of other manufacturers are also in lawsuits.
So what's the answer to prevent that? Getting the rings stuck?
It's going to be
oil changes.
A much more frequent oil change than these 8, 9, 10, 12, 15,000 mile oil changes.
But we know we don't go 8 or 9 or 10,000 miles on an oil.
Lots of people wait for that idiot light to come on. And
they do what they're told to do. But so let me make sure I understand this. So GM's defense on this is that
it's a defect in design.
We built it properly according to the way we were told to build it. And if we were told to build crap, and we built crap, then it's not our fault because that's what we were told to do. Which goes to back to the people that look at the light that says, well, I'm told to change my oil at 15,000 miles, so that's what I did.
GM, in their initial filing, says our defense is manufacturer's warranty covers defects.
Yeah.
No, it covers defects in material and manufacture. It does not cover defects in design. And I just absolutely, that's kind of why I wrote this down. Just absolutely blew my mind that was the way they're going to present this in court. And
how do you prove that, though?
How do you disprove it?
Because everybody out there knows this design, and it's not just GM, this design of gasoline direct injection and oil consumption and intake valve and piston ring carbon deposits is a humongous problem. Everybody's experienced.
So there's precedent set, but just not in court. There's precedent set by the design.
Well, the precedent has been set in court because Volkswagen has already paid out on their class action lawsuit on the 2 liter and 1.8 liter TSI. Is it TSI? Which Volkswagen call it? Yeah,
TSI.
TDI is the diesel.
Okay.
So they've already paid out on it.
TSI?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Subaru is also in settlement of their class action lawsuit for oil consumption on theirs.
With those flat 4s and flat 6s?
Well, flat 4s of 6 has been years and years ago, but yeah.
I think Perry Mason should be in on this one.
So, you know, I foresee it as a problem, and whether or not media picks up on how GM defends this is going to could very well be a big problem for them.
Yep.
Kind of like the diesel scandal where they have to pay out billions of dollars.
Ding, ding, ding. I worked for Oldsmobile when they released the diesel, and that was never a scandal.
Easy.
So another thing.
If we'd have had the internet, it would have been.
So another thing, General Motors has having a tough time finding workers for their Flint assembly plant in Michigan and Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're looking to hire thousands of people.
Why those two plants?
Because those are the plants that, I believe those are truck plants, and they're trying to gear the truck plants back up.
Okay.
And The problem is, and the union leader has a solution for the problem, says GM might consider doing away with the mandatory drug testing in order to hire more workers. I swear that was what was in the article.
Amazon's doing that.
I got that out of the Detroit Free Press. I was like, seriously, let's stop drug testing.
Mondays and Fridays were the days.
That's going to help the quality.
I worked for Fisher Body. Mondays and Fridays were the days that you called in.
Valero bought out one of the Gulf plants down there around me, and they refurbished it, did a bunch of work, wanted to hire a bunch of people. Going to hire local because of the tax deferments and blah, 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 blah. Almost 70% of the people couldn't pass the drug test, so they started bringing them in from out of wherever, out of Houston. We brought a lot in out of Houston, San Antonio,
from the drug rehabs places, yeah.
Trying to find somebody that could pass the drug test.
Is that mind-boggling? Or
you know,
what?
you mentioned something about the union. The ex-UAW President Gary Jones was sentenced Thursday to 28 months in the federal penitentiary for stealing millions from auto workers to live a lavish lifestyle of golf, cigars, and fine liquor.
Ooh.
Jones, 63, is the second
bad.
consecutive union leader to be put behind bars following his predecessor, Dennis Williams, who last month was sentenced to 21 months in prison. In 2015, the feds alleged Jones ordered more than $13,000 worth of cigars from Gary's Sales in Arizona, in large part for the use of UAW official B, whom the Detroit News identified as Williams. The purchase included 12 boxes of Ashton Double Magnum cigars worth $268 a box, and Ashton Monarch Tubos, not turbos, but tubos, worth $274 a box.
Huh.
In 2017, the feds alleged Jones and others spent $539,608 on multiple golf resorts and hotels. They also spent more than $290,000 on condos, lavish restaurants, golf green fees, cigars, spa services,
I love it,
clothing, musicals, amusement park tickets, and other luxuries.
Hello, Dolly. Must have been the musical.
Did the cigars
of guys and dolls?
Did the cigars have Clinton's picture on the box?
They weren't buying any blue dresses, were they?
Oh my God!
No, that was part of the shows.
Oh, that was part of the clothing.
Is that mind-boggling? And this is just currently. Yeah, I think if you look back in history, it's just about every leader of the UAW has gone to jail. I wonder if they have a frequent flyer or frequent stayer program or special cells
in the federal
for them.
penitentiary.
Yeah.
Or special cells or special prisons for them because they've all gone to jail.
Here's your Magnum Tubo. Get behind the. Get Barney Fife says get behind the.
Barney Fife.
Yeah.
Behind him. With a cigar.
Or is it the place where they sell the knickknacks and things in the concessions? Suitcases.
Suitcases to get out. Yeah. The Carlos Goshen exit strategy.
That's right. Oh, that was a guitar case or
drum case, something
yeah, something like
amp
that.
Case, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's that.
Randy goes, okay, if he's going to come over and get his toenails painted, it's going to be called, the color is going to be called Fungus Among Us. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate that.
And you know,
you've seen my toenails.
I don't want to know, but I can just imagine with that choice of color, name what's down there.
He knows you.
I don't. Yes, they can identify him through his toenails.
He'll have to sanitize the paint booth after he goes.
Oh my gosh! Ray says, yeah, they could do spray on tan. I guess they could do spray on toenails.
There you go.
Oh gosh!
After they've all fallen off from the fungus,
he will never be back on the show. We're going to call him.
And by the way, I'd like to thank Trevor Scott for bringing levity to today's show because we needed it, and it was just the perfect timing.
I did find out Trevor was supposed to join us, but his PR person neglected to confirm with him on the date. When I sent it over, I said, here's all the Zoom meeting times. Oh, yeah, he'll be there. I'll send it to him right now.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
Huh.
At least they fessed up that
what goes around comes around.
And this was supposed to be a conversation about the new Maverick?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But I have a story about the new Maverick.
Oh, this could be good.
Do we want to show some pictures? We have pictures.
Well,
while we're doing the story.
Sure, let's do it. We've got a little time
ready,
here.
Jeff?
I'm getting it.
Yeah, and while he does, let me thumb through here and let me get the story out because it was one of the stories I was going to cover in the news segment.
Oh, maybe we don't want to show a picture or not.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm ready.
But you've been talking about bringing back a true compact truck for some time.
And you know what? This is really not a true compact truck.
Bigger?
After I've seen it, no. It may be a little bit smaller than the
It is
Ranger.
smaller than the Ranger.
A little bit.
But not
But
significantly.
Not what you would consider like
It's not. No, it's not what it used to be. The compact truck segment. So the cheapest option in Ford Motor Company's North American lineup will soon be a pickup 2022 Maverick. Scheduled to hit showrooms this fall, will become a new entry point into the Ford brand. Compact pickup Unwrapped Tuesday will have a starting price of $21,490, including a $1,495 shipping charge. And we had a story and discussed it at length about these shipping charges going through the roof these days because the manufacturers clearly are making money off the shipping charges.
General Motors is being sued.
It makes it $150 less expensive than the base EcoSport subcompact crossover, Ford's least expensive offering today. It'll be the first Ford to come standard with a hybrid engine, which is expected to get fuel economy of 40 miles per gallon city. It can haul up to 1,500 pounds, and it can tow up to 4,000 pounds with the optional EcoBoost gasoline engine. The Maverick sits on the same unibody front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive system called C2, the platform, that underpins the Bronco Sport, the Escape, and the Lincoln Corsair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maverick will be geared toward younger millennials and women. Now, I've edited the story and left out a bunch of stuff in there, but
Hold that picture.
It just isn't a whole lot. Now, let me just say something about this, if you don't mind.
Please
My
do.
personal opinion. I would have liked to have thought that the Ford Motor Company wouldn't have gone back 15 years and pulled out those ginormous headlights. Really? Do you like that?
No, there's the new E, the full electric Ford pickup has that bar going across the top.
But that
too.
kind of follows the F-250, F-350.
Right.
Huge headlights.
Yeah.
When clearly the direction of headlights these days is smaller.
and neon, yeah.
But look at the size of those things. It's massive.
Well, the
Do you
other
like
thing-
it? I'm asking the question. Do you like the
I'd
look?
have to see it in person.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the big lights on the F-250s and F-350s. I think you look more at the light than you do the style of the truck. Me personally.
Agreed, but in this case, it's going to have to grow on me. Like you said, you got to see it in person.
Well, the other thing I noticed is the little vent on the rear edge of the fender underneath the mirror, which is very F-250, F-350.
Yeah.
So I think there might be some reason they're doing the headlights is to draw the Super Duty truck look down to the little truck.
Well, to tie it all in, that this is the Ford series of trucks, and what you see,
right.
like they've got that bar that goes across there with the emblem across, tying the two headlights. They've done that on all of them now.
I don't have
familiar look.
I don't have a problem with that. I think that part of it is okay.
Yeah.
The grill, the way it's made up, and the shape of the little whatever those things are inside the grill, but the headlights are just overwhelming to me.
Yeah, they look disproportional right there in that picture.
There was an ad the other day I saw. Above that Ford Blue Oval, that line of those little rectangles, that is all lit up on the electric vehicle. That wraps around the grille. From underneath the turn signal, right or left, it goes all the way across the top. It's lit up in a night shot, and it looks different. I don't want to say menacing, but it just looks different.
It sounds to me like there is trying to go after the Raptor. Because that had the orange lights through the grill.
Oh, yeah,
Or the General Motors one, the
yeah, and I've seen some aftermarket lighting setups like that for the Ram truck. You put them in there.
You can put them in yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, but when you look at this picture here, the headlights are on the bottom. That upper piece is that neon,
the
daytime running light thing that everybody's running.
Yeah,
now.
but it just makes it all together. I have to agree with Don. It looks a little too much.
It's out of proportion.
It's disproportionate.
Yes. Yeah, it is. All right.
I'm going to go to the next one.
Well, we're done with the story now, so you don't have to do any of it. As a matter of fact, you need to prepare, sir, for your Jaguar E-Pace.
E-Pace.
Is it E?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure because there seems to be some confusion there. What is it actually?
It is an E.
An E-Pace.
E-Pace.
All right.
So
time now for this hour's pre-owned car of the week that Jeffrey Dziekan always manages to have for us. And,
sure.
We try to do a couple of new car reviews and a used car review. What year is this thing? A 2019?
Yes, sir. It's a 2019. I'm going to help Conrad out there. Okay, and that's where you do it there. 2019 Jaguar E-Pace.
You know he's going to screw this up.
That's okay. The trim levels available are the E-Pace.
I stopped it.
Trim levels of the E-Pace, which is the basic version of this Jag. The F-Pace, which is the luxury version or more predominantly optioned vehicle. And then the I-Pace Electric, which is the all-electric vehicle. Of course, this is the E-Pace. It's a compact SUV or CUV. 5-passenger vehicle. Now, this vehicle, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with this vehicle at all. And you'll hear more about this here in just a second. It's a Euro styling, large fascia. It's got smooth side accents. The vehicle does look nice. It looks pretty, but it just does not impress me. It has nice dual exhaust, and it's in reading up on this, it says it has a racy exhaust note. It snarls.
That's what they said. It snarls?
That's one of the things that Jaguar's putting out on this vehicle. But again, it is the base version. Typical leather on the inside. You got all the bells and whistles due to Jag. It does not have top-notch materials. It's rated at a 7 3/4 out of 10 votes.
Well, why in the hell are you reviewing this?
Because I want people to know this. I want people to know this.
So Jag may be a pacemaker, but this one's a heart stopper.
There you go. And I know about hearts. It's got cramped back seats. It's got confined space for your knees.
Let's just go ahead and rip it.
I'm going to rip a good one.
Do you own one of these? Let us hear from you and tell you how much you hate about
Send it to Mike at In Wheel Time. 10-inch touchscreen. It's got glitchy software, sloppy dash design, irregular panel fit.
Well, don't hold back.
I'm not. God. It's a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, 246 to 295 horsepower, depending on your engine configuration, because you can't get it in a turbo. Torque is 269 foot-pounds of torque, or in 295 in a newton meter. 9-speed automatic. This is an all-wheel drive vehicle. That's another downer for me. I don't like all-wheel drive vehicles. 21 in the city, 28 highway, 25 combined. 18.1 gallon fuel tank on this rascal. Your options on the tires on the aspect ratio, you can go from 17s to 20s. You've got it's a good driving response according to some of the folks that do own it. Of course, there's a lot that don't. Shares a platform with the Range Rover and Discovery. So it's based on that version you got down in there.
It's the only picture.
So shall we just go ahead and sum it up by saying it sucks?
Well, then there's no current recalls, so I don't understand that. 38
up to you. It would be the whole thing would be recalled.
38 to
We're
52
sorry we
on
sold
the
this thing, and we apologize to anybody that we offended.
Let's send this to Jaguar.
Send it to him.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to give this back to you because that's the only live picture we have. The other camera, it went down, and that's why the lights are off on it.
Great.
Wonderful.
So you can look at me.
So we get a picture of Don as he rants and raves about whatever.
Why did that happen?
That's exactly right. And I've had a lot to rant and rave about today, haven't I?
Today
it's been one of those
It has been one of those kind of days. All right. Well, we're going to let Jeffrey get up and try to fix the camera so we can get the camera system working again. But in the meantime, I did want to tell you that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Nobody's watching anymore after this disaster, but in case you are, the podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Show continues right after this quick break. Winning the highest sales satisfaction award among all luxury brands from J.D. Power in 2020 tells you everything you need to know about your Lincoln purchase from Bayway. Bayway Lincoln is where a premium buying experience is a priority, and you're invited to feel it yourself. This Houstonian-owned premier dealership is managed by Lincoln Stahl, a seasoned member of the Bayway family. If it's online, in person, or in your own driveway, Bayway gets you to the luxury level you deserve. Bayway Lincoln is on the Gulf Freeway at Fuquay, just inside Beltway 8. Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U on 59 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer car enthusiast and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.